The final day of Raiders OTAs wrapped up on June 5th, setting the stage for what's ahead in mandatory minicamp. That begins June 10th, but right now, let's break down the offensive players who turned heads and made a serious impact during OTAs. We're counting down the top 5 offensive standouts, starting with number 5, and coming in hot is Michael Mayer. Reports from the field have been glowing. The coaching staff is fired up about how Mayer has approached this offseason, focused, physical, and fully locked in. What's most exciting is how he's being used in this new-look offense under Chip Kelly. Mayer is more than just a promising tight end. He's evolving into a major weapon. And don't worry about Brock Bowers taking over. If this offense clicks, there's room for 2 elite tight ends. Just ask Tom Brady how dangerous that can be. The silver and black are cooking something special, and it's players like these who are turning up the heat. At number 4, let's talk about Trey Tucker, a name that keeps echoing around the Raiders' training facility, and for good reason. He's showing he's not just a speedster, but a complete receiver. Tucker's blazing speed is still there, no doubt. But what's setting him apart this offseason is his hunger. The way he's locking into every drill, staying close to the veterans, learning, grinding, pushing himself. And here's what's more impressive. He's not shying away from physicality. Even when there's not much full contact going on, Tucker's showing he's willing to block, willing to fight for a spot. That competitive spirit, it's exactly what the Raiders need from a young wideout trying to carve out his place. Now, on to number 3, Geno Smith. There have been a few hiccups, sure, but overall, Smith is looking sharp. More importantly, he's commanding the offense like a leader. His accuracy has been on point, and the trust he's building with receivers is something the coaching staff is quietly excited about. Some call him elite. Whether or not you agree, the fact is this: Geno is rising. With the offensive line starting to gel, his decision-making and poise in the pocket are giving the Raiders exactly what they need from a quarterback: consistency, leadership, and confidence. Coming in at number 2, Dont'e Thornton Jr. This kid is already drawing whispers of greatness. The speed, unreal, the roots, far more polished than people expected. He's proving he's not just a vertical threat, but a dynamic receiver who can beat defenses in more than one way. Thornton's explosiveness reminds some of Martavis Bryant, but with even more upside. He's putting pressure on defenses every snap, stretching the field, pulling coverage, and creating space for the rest of the offense. If he keeps this up, the Raiders may have found a future star, a true game changer. But that's not all, because the number 1 OTA winner is still ahead. And here he is, the number 1 biggest winner from Raiders OTAs, Ashton Ginty. Let's be honest, everyone expected the spotlight to follow Ginty the moment the Raiders called his name in the first round. But expectations are one thing, delivering is another. Despite the usual noise that surrounds high draft picks, especially in Las Vegas where first-round choices haven't always lived up to the hype, Ginty is shutting down every doubt. Coaches and insiders aren't just talking about his talent, they're praising his attitude: humble, focused, a natural leader. He's shown up to work every day like a veteran, and his game speaks volumes. The Raiders aren't just building around a quarterback, they're building around Ginty's potential, and everything this offseason points to that. His presence, his IQ, and his explosiveness have already changed the tone in the building. And if you're a fan of the silver and black, that's exactly what you want to hear. Let's highlight a few honorable mentions too. Guys who are quietly winning under the radar. Alex Kappa has locked down that right guard spot. Reports from camp suggest it's his job to lose, and he's not letting go of it anytime soon. Solid, reliable, physical, Kappa's doing exactly what the Raiders brought him in to do. DJ Glaze at right tackle, same story. He's bringing stability to a line that desperately needed it. The only real battle brewing now is at left guard, but even there, Caleb Rogers is turning heads. His versatility is showing, and more importantly, he's impressing the decision-makers. One name that deserves a ton of credit: Jack Beck. He's been exactly as advertised: dynamic, driven, and sharp in route execution. And finally, Jacoby Myers, a quiet professional. He didn't let contract distractions keep him away. He showed up, he worked, he led. That speaks volumes about his character, and frankly, the man deserves an extension. Let's start with a few names who might be slipping down the depth chart. And one of them is Thayer Munford, For now, he looks like the odd man out on the offensive line. He hasn't done anything drastically wrong, but in a unit that's suddenly looking stronger and more competitive, he's fading into the background. Another name to watch, Dylan Parham. He's fighting it out with Jordan Meredith for the left guard spot, and that's not necessarily a great sign. When you've already started as many games as Parham has, you don't want to be battling for your job in a contract year. He still has a shot to reclaim that starting role, but the pressure's on. And then there's Zamir White, whose situation is frankly tough. The energy around him feels different. Not lazy, not checked out, but there's a clear sense that he knows the deck is stacked against him. Some of it might be on him, but some of it is just the harsh reality of a backfield that's shifting in a new direction. Now, let's turn the page and focus on the defensive side of Raiders OTAs, where a few key players have made a massive impression. Starting at number 5, Max Crosby. We already know who he is, the motor, the drive, the face of the Raiders defense. But what stands out this offseason? He's healthy, fully, completely, explosively healthy. And that's rare this early in the offseason for a guy who puts so much on the line every single snap. The fact that he's not just active but dominant at this stage, that's terrifying news for opposing quarterbacks. Coming in at number 5, Max Crosby again. Yeah, we all know Crosby is the leader of this defense, but this offseason, he's out there proving a point. After a year where he only put up 7.5 sacks, his lowest total, Crosby is on a mission. He's not just showing up, he's outworking everyone, reminding the league that he's still that guy. The one who's worth top defensive end money. When a player like Max gives 110% in June, it sets the tone for every single person on the field. At number 4, it's Tommy Eichenberg. The rookie linebacker is turning heads in camp. With Amari Burney going down and Jaylon Smith brought in, Eichenberg didn't shrink. He stepped up. He's made some key plays, including interceptions, and has shown early signs of leadership. Right now, he might even have the edge over fellow rookie Cody Lindenberg. But, truthfully, this entire linebacker room is heating up. From Eichenberg to UDFA Jalen Walker to veterans like Divine Diablo and Luke Masterson, it's a real battle. And Tommy is right in the thick of it. Number 3, Jeremy Chinn. There were a lot of questions about how the Raiders would use him, and it looks like they found the answer. Think Cam Chancellor and Pete Carroll's defense. That's the vibe. Chinn is being used as a versatile enforcer. He can cover, he can lead, and once the pads come on, that physicality is going to show. The coaching staff loves what they're seeing so far, and this role just might unlock the best version of Chinn. Sliding in at number 2, Darien Porter, the rookie third-round pick. He's been running with the starters. Yes, the first-team defense, even with Jacorian Bennett still around. Coaches and players alike are noticing Porter's football, IQ, length, and athleticism. You can tell he's got that wide receiver background because his awareness and footwork are already ahead of the curve. He might just be the second most athletic corner on the roster, maybe even number 1. Long, rangy, confident, Porter is making a name for himself fast. And finally, the biggest winner from Raiders OTAs on the defensive side, Eric Stokes. Now, if you had asked most fans before OTAs, who's the odd man out between Darien Porter, Eric Stokes, and Jacorian Bennett, almost everyone would have said Stokes. Why? The Raiders just drafted Porter, and last season, Bennett was the best cornerback on the team, better than Nate Hobbs, better than Jack Jones. But guess what? Eric Stokes has been running with the first-team defense, and not just once or twice. He's been consistently out there with the starters. That alone makes him the surprise winner of this offseason so far. His speed, his experience, and now his performance, he's proving he belongs. Now, a few honorable mentions before we wrap up. Tyree Wilson is getting a lot of positive buzz. Coaches love what they're seeing, especially now that he's fully healthy. Thomas Harper. Keep an eye on this name. He's been working both at nickel and free safety, quietly earning more snaps and making the most of them. Malcolm Kuncey is also back to full health and showing flashes of the edge presence we saw late last season. Let's talk about the defensive green dot, the guy calling the plays. That role looks locked in for Elandon Roberts. He's showing real leadership out there, and honestly, he's got captain potential written all over him. Now, with Christian Wilkins out due to injury, Guys like Jonu Lalu and Nestajade Silvera have stepped up big time. Lalu, especially, he's developing slowly, but you can tell there's something there. He's kind of like a slow-cooked dish. He might not be ready just yet, but give him time. He could become a solid starter like Adam Butler down the road. Different play style, but same kind of growth path. Now, let's talk losers on defense during OTAs. Christian Wilkins makes this list simply because he hasn't been on the field. With so many young players stepping up, his absence stands out. Demarion Richardson is another, not because he's playing poorly, but because others around him are making bigger moves. It's tough competition in that secondary. And finally, Darnay Holmes. Many thought he had a shot at being the starting slot corner, but so far, he's barely been in the mix. In nickel packages, the Raiders are trying out free safeties and other corners ahead of him. That says a lot. And before we finish, let's give a bonus win to the Raiders' new regime. Huge props to Pete Carroll and John Spytek. You're not hearing negative whispers about them. Not from the media, not from players, not from coaches. The one thing everyone keeps saying, this team loves playing for Pete Carroll. And when a team is competing hard in May and June, that work ethic is going to pay off in August, September, and all season long. Bottom line, Raider Nation is a winner from OTAs.